All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to you, sincere Akim, pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, throughout the four corners of the globe, in spirit and in truth, in sincerity. Um, Back with another lesson. Uh, and in this lesson, pretty much I want to talk about a dream I had last night involving a brother that was in the camp that passed away. All right, the brother's name is the beloved brother, should I say? Uh, his name is Taziar, and which means young. You know, that brother had a real, lively, a real lively spirit. You know what I'm saying? He had like he had an old soul. You know, he knew a lot for being a young brother. You know, um, but I was close with the brother. You know, and we were roommates for a long time. You know, for some years. Um, but yeah, I had from time to time, I think about the brother. Um, and this is the second time that I can remember that I had a dream in which the brother popped up in my dream. All right, the first time I had a dream, I was on a construction site, and it was early in the morning. And sometimes construction sites, depending on what time you start, they can be dark, especially if you one of the first people there. You know, and one of the first actually the first construction site I ever worked on, I remember having to go with the GC up on this roof. But when we went to when we walked up the stairs, man, like it was dark. It wasn't even the sun wasn't even up. But the power was messed up in the building, man, but it was dark, you know what I'm saying? But that same job, that project, I actually was able to get the brother a job working there, so our introduction to, doing construction was at this job site, the same job site. But anyways, so my first dream that I had some years ago, that brother, he popped up in that dream. Um, but the dream I had last night, pretty much, I was at a family member's house, um, and all my family, for the most part lives out of state. I'm not sure what family member's house it was, but I know it was a family member's house because I had some relatives that I recognized in a dream. Um, but I walked down a hallway and went into a room, and it was like a bedroom, and the brother Taziar was in there. It was a couple people in there, um, and it was a pretty decent sized bedroom, and the brother was in there, and I was like, oh man, so he was sitting on the bed, and then he got up and it was like Kasad, Shalom, so I'm like, hey, Shalom, and it was like, oh man, like bro, I ain't seen you in a long time. So we was happy to see each other, and then we gave each other a big hug, a long hug. And then the brother, he looked at me and said, I'm back. And then I woke up and I was like, man, like, it felt real. It felt real. And the brother Zayan from the Las Vegas camp was in the dream as well. He was in the room as well. Uh, and it was crazy because in the dream there were people like walking down the hallway because it was like a long hallway, and it was just rooms on both sides. And it was like the people that was walking in the hallway and going to other rooms. It's like we saw them, but they didn't even think to look in the room that we were in. It was like they was completely oblivious that we was over in this room, and it was kind of like we could see through the walls. You know, um, but there was people going to other rooms, and meeting up with other people, that I guess they knew, or whatever the case. Um, but yeah, the brother, I was happy to see him. He was happy to see me. We gave each other a long hug, and he looked at me and was like, "I'm back." Those was his exact words. And then I woke up, just bow, just like that. Woke up like, oh man, you know. So, um, we know what the scriptures say, man. Um, that brother's simply resting. For any brother who has passed, in the Lord, in Yahweh Shai, they're simply resting. All right. And that in itself is comforting. All right, because and then too, that so just imagine you got Nate preaching the hell doctrine. You got certain individuals from these other Israelite groups, IURC in particular, who have passed on, to the spirit world. All right. But him preaching that there's a hell, that's putting doubt, in the minds of certain of his congregation who might have family members that actually were, in the truth and passed on to the spirit world. Now they like, oh man, are they in heaven or are they in hell? Like, that's confusion. You know, all right, here at Great Millstone, we don't have that doubt of, if a brother pass and go, pass from this life and go to the spirit world. Oh, this the brother's in purgatory. The brother's in the underground, dungeon, burning in hell, or whatever the case may be. We know what the scriptures say. All right, when you Ecclesiastes, when you pass on to the spirit world, that's exactly what happens. Your spirit goes back to the Heavenly Father to go rest, and your body goes back to the earth. All right, and that's in the book of Ecclesiastes. So the 12th chapter. But I'm gonna grab this here in Isaiah 57 and verse 1. It says, the righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart, and merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. Okay. He shall enter into rest. He shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. Okay. Let me read this in the NLT, verse 1, Isaiah 57 and 1. It says, good people pass away. The godly often die before their time. But no one seems to care or wonder why. No one seems to understand that the Most High is protecting them from the evil to come. All right. So brothers who have passed, believing in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, was actually doing the work. What's crazy is the last video, it's spiritual. The last video that this brother did, the brother Tazayar did before he passed on to the spirit world, he was doing a in transit video, and he went into the Mark of the Beast. All right, the MOTB. He was going into the MOTB. And that was in that was in 2018. Yep, that was no, so like it was 2000. Man, it was so long ago. So like it was, yeah, it was 2019. So like if I remember correctly. All right. No, actually it was 2018. So like yeah, it was the beginning of 2018. Um, and here we are, 2024, and something that's important that we talk about is what? The MOTB. Okay. Um, but yeah, brothers who have passed and went on to the spirit world, they no longer, they ain't got to worry about that. You know, they're being, the Lord is protecting them from the evil to come. Okay. Verse 2, it says, "For those who follow godly paths will rest in peace when they die." Okay. So brothers who have passed, they're at peace. They're simply resting and waiting on the Lord to make his second coming. All right. This is Luke 8 and 41. It says, "And behold, there came a man named Jairus, and he was a ruler of the synagogue, and he fell down at Yahushua's feet and besought him that he would come into his house. For he had one only daughter, about 12 years of age, and she lay a dying. But as he went, the people thronged him. And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood stanched. And Yahushua said, Who touched me? When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude throng thee and press thee, and says thou, Who touched me? And Yahushua said, Somebody hath touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me. And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling and falling down before him, and declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, Daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole, go in peace. All right. So getting back to the point, the point dealing with the ruler of the synagogue, all right, and his daughter that was about to give up the ghost. It says, while he yet spake, there cometh one of the ruler of the synagogue's house, saying to him, Thy daughter is dead, trouble not the master. But when Yahushua heard it, he answered him, saying, Fear not, believe only, and she shall be made whole. And when he came into the house, he suffered no man to go in, save Peter and James and John and the father and the mother of the maiden. And all wept and bewailed her. But he said, Weep not, she is not dead, but sleepeth. All right, so that's the point right there. And that's in the red. That's Yahushua stating that, when someone, the spirit exits their body, they're not dead. They're simply sleeping. All right, they're just in the spirit world. They're sleeping. All right, so that that applies to all mankind. All right, and that's knowledge that we as Israelites have. All right, this knowledge wasn't given to all nations. You got bugged out Elamites thinking that they're gonna get reincarnated as a cow, which is which is why they don't eat beef. You know what I'm saying? Just crazy ass doctrines people believe in. All right, but we know the truth. All right, through these scriptures. It says, and they laughed him to scorn, knowing that she was dead. But he put them all out and took her by the hand and called, saying, Maid, arise. And her spirit came again, and she arose straightway, and he commanded to give her meat. And her parents were astonished, but he charged them that they should tell no man what was done. Let me read verse 54 in the NLT. It says, Then Yahushua took her by the hand and said in a loud voice, My child, get up. And at that moment her life returned, and she immediately stood up. Then Yahushua told them to give her something to eat. Her parents were overwhelmed, but Yahushua insisted that they not tell anyone what had happened. All right. So that, that's self-explanatory. All right. The Lord had the power and the ability to call, the maiden's spirit back into her body. Okay. So that's initially what's going to happen. The Lord is brothers that pass is, they're going to have, those extraterrestrial indestructible bodies upon those First Corinthians 15 bodies, should I say, that all the elect is gonna have. They're gonna be. It's just like getting some new armor. Getting football pads. If you played football growing up, you got some football pads and new uniform, new cleats, new helmets. You're looking all spiffy. Well, in the kingdom, upon us getting delivered, Abaratazah, the elect, as soon as the elect get beamed up into the chariots, man, you're going to have a whole new body. The way you look at your hand now, what it looks like, you're accustomed to looking at your hands, your feet, your arms. You know what I'm saying? When you look in the mirror, the way you look, you're accustomed to that. You're accustomed to that. However, in the kingdom, all right, it's gonna be totally different. Like the movie Avatar, when they, got a avatar body. The individual, I think his name was Jake, that was in the wheelchair. Once he got in the avatar body, he had to get accustomed to looking at that avatar's body. So brothers that have passed, or even sisters that have passed in Yahushua, is going to return, having that 1 Corinthians 15 body, that indestructible extraterrestrial body. All right. And likewise we will, upon being delivered and beamed up into the chariot, Abaratazah. 1 Thessalonians 4, and I'm gonna start at 13. I'm gonna read this in the NLT. It says, And now, dear brothers and sisters, we want you to know what will happen to the believers who have died, so you will not grieve like people who have no hope. All right. You got people who pass away, and that grief is so heavy for certain of their loved ones that they can be dead, or I don't really like using that word dead. They could have passed on 40 years ago, 30 years ago, and they still in mourning. The scriptures tell you that you're only supposed to mourn for a certain time, because outside of that, it's going to be accounted to you as evil. Roughly paraphrasing. All right. So we have hope. All right, that we're gonna see those individuals again, those brothers and sisters again. All right. Because we know the scriptures. Okay. And guess what? Those brothers, who have passed on to the spirit world, that were believers in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, guess what? They have the same hope. They have, and they had that same hope prior to them going to the spirit world, man. Okay. It says, For since we believe that Yahushua died and raised to life again, we also believe that when Yahushua returns, the Most High will bring back with him the believers who have died. We tell you this directly from Yahweh, or from the Lord, from Yahushua. It says, we tell you this directly from the Lord. We who are still living when the Lord returns, will not meet him ahead of those who have died. Okay, because they in the spirit world, and Yahweh Shai is in the spirit world. It says, "For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a commanding shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet call of the Most High. First, the Christians, all right, the Israelites, the believers, the anointed ones, who have died will raise from their graves. Then, together with them, we who are still alive and remain on the earth will be caught up in the clouds, aka chariot, all right, aka UFO, aka uh 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 UAP, unknown aerial phenomenon, all right, the chariots of Israel. Okay, it says we'll be let me see. We who are still alive and remain on the earth will be caught up in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. Then we will be with the Lord forever. So encourage each other with these words. All right. So, those words are encouraging and generate hope, give brothers hope, to the fact that you're going to see your friend again, because coming into the truth, certain brothers you might get real tight with, what I'm saying? Become best friends, you know, a real brotherhood, a real bond, you know. And for a brother to go to the spirit world is, that's your friend, man. You miss your friend, you know. So that hope of like knowing without the shadow of a doubt, man, I'm gonna see my friend again. The same way we hope to see Yahweh Shai again. We know we're gonna see Yahweh Shai again. All right. We are a big Israelites. Israel, we're a big family. All right, now the Lord is dealing with a remnant, a chosen, a few, and elect. Okay, nonetheless, Israel is just really one big family. All right, so brothers is family that have passed. That's family members that you want to see again. All right, just like in the real, what I'm saying, little kids or something be, a grandfather die, a grandmother die, little kids be like, am I gonna see granddaddy in heaven? You know what I'm saying? And like as a little kid, it's like you gonna see your grandpa in heaven. I can't wait to go to heaven. So I can see granddad and grandma. It's like that as a little kid, you know that. You know what I'm saying? You really don't understand what you're saying or what but it's just naturally ingrained within us as Israelites to know, that in heaven you're gonna see family members again. All right. But we really, being blessed to understand this doctrine, all right, of Yahweh Shai, of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the truth, the 100% truth, which is the gospel that Great Millstone has. We know that, all right, brothers who have passed, believing in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we're gonna see him again. All right. Matthew 24 and 13, it says, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." So that's another reason to endure unto the end, is to meet, your brother at the finish line. That's the course, like it said in Isaiah 57. Matter of fact, here in Isaiah 57, once again, verse 2 in the NLT, it says, "For those who follow godly paths," hold on, matter of fact, the latter part of verse 1 in NLT, it says, "No one seems to understand that the Most High is protecting them from the evil to come." So, the course for a brother might have been, obviously for brothers who have passed and went back to the spirit world, their course was, to do the works that they done and did on the earth, and then the Lord called them home, delivering them from, the evil to come. Okay, and Abaratazah, us brothers who are still here, are once again, Abaratazah, our course is to endure unto the end, Lord willing. All right. So that dream I had pretty much, I seen the brother Taziar Ra'ayin, Young Thunder. All right, that was his name, and he told me, he looked at me, and after we gave each other a long hug, and he was like, he said, "I'm back," and it was like, oh, and then boom, I woke up. So that dream was comforting. All right, and it just builds hope. It builds more hope. So Abarat Azar, this was edifying. Until next time, Shalom.